The story of Noah and the Ark. A long, long time ago, the world was full of people who had turned away from God. They hurt one another, chose violence, and no longer cared about living the right way. But one man was different. His name was Noah. The Bible says, Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Genesis 6:9. Because Noah loved him, God chose Noah for a special mission. God said, I am going to send a great flood to wash the earth clean. But you, Noah, and your family will be safe. Build an ark of wood. Make it strong and big, enough for you, your family, and every kind of animal I will send. This was a huge task. The ark was enormous, like a floating house as long as a football field. Noah worked with his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth day after day, cutting wood and hammering boards, just as God told him. People laughed at him and said, why build a big boat when there's no sea nearby? But Noah trusted God, no matter what others thought. When the ark was complete, God began sending the animals, lions and lambs, tall giraffes, tiny ants, hopping kangaroos, and flocks of colorful birds. They all came in pairs, male and female, just as God commanded. The Bible says, pairs of animals and birds, of every kind, came to Noah and entered the ark, as God had commanded. Genesis 7:8-9. Finally, Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives went inside. Then God himself closed the door. Suddenly, the rains began to fall. Drops turned into streams, streams into rushing waters, until the whole earth was covered. For 40 days and 40 nights, it rained without stopping. Even the highest mountains disappeared. But inside the ark, Noah and his family were safe. At last the rain ended, and slowly the water began to go down. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Noah released a raven, then a dove, to look for land. One day, the dove returned with a fresh olive leaf in its beak. That was the sign the earth was growing green again. Then God spoke to Noah. Come out of the ark, you and your family and all the animals. Joyfully, they stepped out into a fresh, new world. The animals bounded away, filling the earth once more. Noah built an altar and thanked God for keeping them safe. God was pleased, and he made a promise. Never again will I flood the whole earth. As a sign of this everlasting promise, God placed a bright rainbow in the sky. The Bible says, I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Genesis 9:13. From that day on, every rainbow reminds us that God keeps his promises. Lesson 4, kids. The story of Noah teaches us to trust God, even when it's hard, or others